Hello everybody, welcome back to Deltora Quest episode 13 I believe. When we last left our heroes, they just escaped the city of rats and they got the opal from Lief, something like that. But yeah, sorry about the not frequent uploads anymore guys. I recently started school and that's been all sorts of fun. It's getting in the way of production a lot, and I'm trying to salvage part 2 of the first glance video for the Halo 5 beta, but that's not going so well. I really hope I don't have to just abandon it, but we'll see. Anyway, back to Deltora Quest. Yeah, we're gonna... You know what, I just noticed. Are they moving? I think they're... made to look... No, they're just still images. That smoke isn't moving at all. Jasmine, what's happening to you?
You must be exhausted.
My legs feel like jelly and
From
I'm
what?
starving. I want to cry, but I don't even have enough energy for that.
We're all in the same boat. Complaining is only going to make us all feel worse.
I know it doesn't help.
They're in a similar situation at the beginning of Shifting Sands.
But if we don't keep
But I
going,
think
Shadow Lord's servants will spot
it
us.
wasn't...
Once
But
they notice
there,
all the
it
smoke
wasn't so
coming
much
from the
that
city
they
of rats, they're gonna come
just got
after
out of the
us.
city of
That's
rats
true,
and they're
but it still doesn't make
exhausted.
sense
It's
to
that
me
they've
to
been
run off
traveling
without a
in the
plan.
desert for several days.
Creed,
But I don't
could you
think
help us
Jasmine
out?
is the one
Fly
that
ahead
fell
and see if
apart.
there's anywhere safe to hide.
Uh-oh, what's that in the
Let's
sky?
rest a bit, okay?
Nothing.
At least till Cree gets back.
Oh, there it is.
Not good. Look up! Over there! It's an Akbaba! Come on! We can hide over there!
Huh?
Now I'm going to be very interested to see how they animate this. You'd think that Akbaba couldn't just see them. Oh, no, they're just going to get under the invisible cloak. In the books, they kind of just hide under a lake and fish magically seem to cover them. But I guess when Emily Rodda wrote that, she kind of forgot that she had the magic cloak.
How long do we have to stay like this?
We shouldn't move till it's out of sight.
When did you become so patient?
Well, I've always been that way, like my dad.
You know, you don't talk much about your dad.
He's an honorable man.
Hey, since there's nothing else to do, why don't you tell me all about him?
Huh?
We can't move until the Akbaba
Obvious
leaves, right?
filler
We've got
episode
loads
coming
of
in,
time.
guys.
So, tell me
So actually, this
Okay, sure, but it's kind of hard
this
to know where to
segment
start.
started at the very first chapter of Book 1.
Okay.
And for
from
some
the
odd
beginning.
reason, I guess for pacing reasons, the anime decided to skip it. And, where the anime started...
My father,
Where the anime
Jared,
started...
used to
Sorry
live in
guys, I'm
Del
stalling
Palace
here.
when he was a little boy.
Where the anime started,
Even though he was the
it was
son of a
basically
servant,
at the
he
middle of
and
the
King
book.
Andon were both raised
And
by
then
same
the
Norsemen.
whole shenanigans with Lief escaping happened. Escaping happened. And then, Jared told Lief the story about, how Deltora fell into the hands of the Shadow Lord.
Oh no, it's Min! Quick! Let's get out of here!
Hey, don't you run away from me, you little rascals!
Sorry, Min!
You little rascals.
Boys.
Bet
The
that,
two boys
that's,
grew up
whatchamacallit.
together in the palace. They played, learned, and got into
Barda's
trouble
mom.
like
That's
two
probably
brothers.
Barda's mom.
To end on, the Prince of Deltora, Jared was the one true friend he could trust completely.
Completely and utterly. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, look at this image and keep it in your head. I'm not sure.
But all of that was
7
about
years
to
later.
change forever.
Okay, I'm curious to see how they handle this. Is the city just gonna be
Jared,
in poverty
are you
once he
awake?
looks out that window?
Come with me, quickly. The king has passed away. It can't be true. No! Which means Prince Endon will succeed the throne.
But he's so young.
So yeah, the king is dead. This is basically where chapter 1 begins in the first book. And now they have to, well, they're not gonna crown him. He's gonna put on the belt, and the belt is gonna...
His father just died and now he has to take the throne. Wouldn't you be nervous if you were him?
Endon was known throughout the palace to be a kind and sensitive
Jared, you look a lot like
Because
Lief.
of this, many felt he was not ready to rule.
Aha, so that's
The
what they
symbol of the
did.
Successor to the king, the belt of Deltora was placed around Endon's waist. The attitudes of the nobles changed.
Notice his long green fingernails there. Can't remember his name, but I'll give you a hint. That guy is a servant to more than just the king. Guy with gray hair serving the belt.
Father, I will make you proud.
Incredible! The belt has recognized Endon as king.
That it has, that it has.
Huh?
But for how long? Now to go put it away.
Thank you, Brandy.
Forever.
You may step back now.
Ah man, I missed his name.
Yes, my king.
Obviously not evil
By
right
then,
there.
the wearing of the belt was no more than a ceremony. By the laws governing Deltora, known as the Rule, the belt was to be locked away in the highest tower of the palace.
Yep.
That's so stupid.
Keep your voice down.
Okay, now they should obviously be seen right here, but it's kind of funny that the Akbaba is kind of just
Maybe if he
floating
floated all the time
around
like Lief
looking
does,
for
the
him
Jets never
in
would've
one
been
singular
stolen.
place.
You're
Wouldn't
right.
it just like
But
fly
he's just
right
following
over?
the rule.
For the first time in his life, Jared too wondered if this was wise.
Yeah, this is
So
where
he slipped
Jared
unnoticed into the
starts
palace
researching about the
library
belt
to read
because
the
he didn't
belt
feel
of
it was
Deltora.
right that for it to be locked up.
This isn't good. Every new ruler has been more powerless than the one before.
Arden, the first king of Deltora, knew that the Shadow Lord, though defeated, was not destroyed. And so he wore the belt always, and never let it out of his sight.
Very much.
Father, I'm not
It's
ready.
good advice right there.
You left me too soon.
Now is that has to be the
I
king?
can't rule this country without you.
Yeah, it's the king. Second there, it looked like it was his mother, but I don't know.
Jared.
Pink petals kind of just made it look like
Please,
it was
Endon.
his mother.
I need to talk to you now.
What are you doing here? You may be my best friend, but even you aren't allowed to come in here. It's against the rule.
Calm down. Just listen to me for a moment. It's not right for the belt to be locked up in a tower. You shouldn't have taken it off. You should wear it as the ancient kings and queens once did.
But that's
What are you
against the
talking about,
rule.
Jared?
And
You've
who
gotta
put
get
this
the
rule
belt
in
and put
place?
it on.
I don't know.
Let's go.
In the book, they describe it as one of the kings
I
got
can't.
like too
You know
fat
as
for the
well as I
belt,
do what
so
the
they
rule
just decided to
says.
put it in a
Forget the
display
rule, it's
case. But
nonsense. It's
still,
just a bunch of dumb regulations
if it's
created by all
the
chief
sole thing
advisors of
keeping
the
them away
past.
from the Shadow
What's gotten into you,
Lord,
Jared?
I think they
The
would at
truth,
least put
that's
guards or something
There's another thing you've
up
got
to
do.
protect the belt.
What?
Have you ever seen how things really are outside the palace walls?
What do you
In
mean,
the city
Lief?
and beyond?
You don't know
No,
how
you
things
know that.
really are
Well, you need
outside
to.
the palace
Don't you
walls.
See, you've got to talk to the people. You need to walk among them and gain their trust. If you're their king, don't you think you should do that?
No, of course not. That's forbidden by the rule. Besides, I know that all is well.
How sure are you? Did you know that not once does the belt of Deltora say you can't leave the palace?
Huh?
But it does say that the belt is powerless unless you wear it. All we've ever known of the kingdom and its people is what Chief Advisor Prandine reported to your father before he died.
Pandine. I think that's the same name as it was in the book.
Chief Advisor Brandine.
Brandine? Pandine? I don't know. I'm tempted to just pause this and pull out the book right now, but I'll just let it continue. I think they change the musical cues every time that transition sequence comes in. What are you doing,
Read a
Brandine?
few books and now you think you know how to rule the kingdom? What exactly are you planning to do, servant boy? I know. You've been jealous of His Majesty ever since you were a child. And now that he has taken the throne, you seek to destroy him. You are the worst type of traitor.
That's a lie! Please believe me, Endon. I was only thinking of your safety. Here.
Beware, your Majesty!
This kind of goes with the treachery of Pandine, but I would wonder why Edon would just take this.
You're a liar. You framed me.
Framed you? He's got a book in his hand. He doesn't have a dagger.
What are you two doing? Jared is the culprit!
Jared? I don't believe it.
He has a knife which he intended to use against our king. Find him!
No, he doesn't. He has a book. But it doesn't matter if he
Jared,
gets caught.
Why'd you do that?
He's gonna be framed.
Now I know Prandine is evil.
His Majesty's been attacked! He was betrayed by Jared! Jared!
What?
That's the tree we used to climb all the time. I know. It should be right here.
Yeah, I think he did hide in the tree.
We used to write all sorts of notes to each other in code. Remember? All you gotta do is take out the ELs. If you need me, aim high, and I will
If you
come.
can aim
You
high,
should
and
be
I
able
will
to figure it
come.
out.
All right, you be careful, old man.
Yeah, and I think this is how it goes in the books too. He hides in the trees and he just falls into the cart.
I'm sorry, Endon. I want to help you, but I
Though,
can't stay
how
here
on
any
earth the
longer.
guards don't see him, I don't know. And now he's gone.
Ugh. This really stinks.
Fresh manure.
We're going down a hill. That must mean we're outside the palace walls.
Kind of far away in the
Weird.
matter
I
of
never
like
noticed that
minutes.
fog before.
And here Jared notices the poverty.
I don't believe it.
So when I told
Is
you
this
guys
really
to
what the
remember that
city looks
image,
like?
I think it's highly implied that that was an illusion. Deltora could have been that profitable from that long ago, but still. And I gotta... Now I understand things are bad in Deltora, but I don't understand how it's so bad that people would be eating scraps like that. Also, why are you guys not fazed by the fact that...
Excuse me.
Oh, that might be why. 'Cause he's lost his soul.
But we saw the city from the palace. It was nothing like this. It was beautiful.
Ah, yep, there it is again.
The city of Del, that Jared and Endon used to look at together, was nothing but a lie. An illusion surrounding the palace.
So they'd been tricked the whole time?
For years, this evil magic had blinded the eyes of the kings and queens of Deltora before Endon. The Shadow Lord is clever and sly, and to his anger and envy, 1,000 years is like the blink of an eye. He basically already ruled Del, but thanks to the belt, he could never attack the palace directly.
Now, kinda odd that he's wandering the forest right here. In the books, he kinda just wanders around town until he takes shelter in a blacksmith's parlor.
The spirit of Arden was with Jared that night. For Krieg,
Okay, yeah, and he's gonna wander in here. I believe he's gonna meet the blacksmith. And then he begins his new life as a blacksmith. Though I don't understand why he's exhausted. I wonder who that is. I can't remember. I think that's the blacksmith's daughter. It's Lief's mom right there, but... Okay, what? Kind of odd organ music going on right here. Oh, he's so charming how we found him by the road there. Yeah, I think that's her dad. Though, I feel like that's her uncle, or something like that. I'm not 100% positive.
Excuse me. Thank you very much for saving me.
And the reason Jared becomes a blacksmith is just because he's good at it. Well, that's not entirely true. In Deltora, they teach the king and their associates to smith, because that's how the belt was formed in the first place. King Auden smith the belt together, and he convinced the 7 tribes to give up their sacred gem in order to form the belt of Deltora. Funny enough, I don't remember Lief's mom having that eye color. Can't remember her name. I think it starts with an M, though.
Now because I don't want to cause you any trouble. But please, if palace guards come around, don't tell them that I was ever here, okay? They'll tell you that I tried to attack the king, but I need you to know that's a lie. I could never do a thing like that.
Well,
From where I sit, that's a shame. If you had succeeded in ridding this miserable world of the new king, I know that many in Del would have thanked you for it.
This was the state of the kingdom. The king was not loved, but hated.
Yep.
Is it any wonder? As far as his people knew, he lived in luxury, behind high walls while they suffered. They did not understand that he had no idea of their troubles.
The guards will not come here. I threw your clothes over that cliff into the sea.
They can't have gray guards. I think the blacksmith even mentions that the guards just never even come around here anymore anyway. Just because things have gotten that bad, and honestly...
Well then, you can stay here, but you'd have to earn your keep.
That's fine with him.
Those clothes you're wearing used to belong to my son.
You had a son?
His life was taken 3 years ago. His dear wife met the same fate just before him, after their only child was born.
Yeah, so yeah,
She's been living with me
he's her
ever
uncle.
since, and she's all that I have left. Her name is Anna.
That's her name, Anna.
And so Jared stayed at Old Crean's forge, working to earn his keep.
And eventually
Years
he
passed.
died,
Jared
and he
and
married
Anna
Anna.
Old Crean died, and Jared took his place as blacksmith. Jared knew it was impossible to contact Endon directly, for Prandine saw to all the petitions addressed to the king, never once showing them to Endon himself. Jared's only hope was that Endon would one day go to the hollow tree, read the note, and send him the signal. Every morning before work, Jared would look up at the tree rising against the misty cloud on the hill. He looked
Notice his
carefully,
man's
searching
beard
for the
right
glint
there.
of the king's golden arrow, the signal that Endon needed him. But it was a long, long time before the signal came.
I think it was a...
By then, it was
Funny
too
enough,
late.
I think it was actually 7 years before he actually got around to sending that letter, and I believe Jared was 14 at the time. So he's like 21.
What's wrong?
He's like 21 right now. And then 14 more years passed, so that'd make him 35 when Lief starts his adventure. Akaba.
Impossible.
Akababa? I think that's what they're called, Akbaba.
Baba. They eat dead flesh and live for 1,000 years. I've heard that 7 of them serve the Shadow Lord himself.
But what are they doing here in Del?
What do you
I
think
don't
they're
know.
doing in
I
Del?
fear. Huh? That's the tree. There's no mistake about it.
Funny enough, now that I think about it, what's really the difference between now and the Shadow Lord taking over? Literally almost nothing. Other than, I guess things are kinda better right now, at least for the king, but if everything's as bad as they make it out to be...
Golden arrow. It's gotta be the signal from Endon.
I don't know. I guess it would just barely scrape by, but I guess the way that the people ran around to those garbage heaps and stuff like that, it seemed like, whatchamacallit, it seemed more desperate than it is now, but oh well.
That someday his hope will be fulfilled. Only now it's Lief who carries that hope with him.
I see.
Okay, it should be safe.
I guess they're not even gonna go.
Wait,
Well,
you?
I think
Let's
they're
hurry
kind of
before
stretched
it
on
comes back
time
and
here. I
spoils
don't
us,
think they
okay?
can fit.
What about the rest of the story? How did Jared and Endon meet up after that? And what happened to them?
I'll tell you the rest once we get past that hill over there.
What hill?
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Yeah, they're probably pushing it to the next episode.
I'll see you guys there!
Yeah, they probably ran out of time here and they're pushing it to the next episode. Jasmine, what are you so excited for?
Let's go.
When Lief tells you the story in the book, you're kind of just, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, I guess they ran out of time right there, and they're probably going to continue it in the next episode, but I have little doubts of that. I think the next episode is where the shifting sand starts. Oh yeah, I'm well caught up on my reading at this point. Funny enough, I thought this series only covered the first 8 books, which were the original Deltora Quest books, but I think it actually bleeds into the Shadowlands books, which I got the hardcover today. So, hopefully if I get far enough, I'll get started reading on those too. But yeah, anyway, thanks again for sticking around, guys. Sorry about the wait, but I'll see you next time.
After finding Endon's arrow, the two friends finally meet again. But it's too late. The belt is already broken by the Shadow Lord. How can the kingdom be saved now? Next episode, The Stolen Gems.